Right, Dev, ready to go live?
Yeah, ready. I think.
Perfect. Sure?
Yeah.
No.
Go for it.
Hey, good evening. I'm Andy.
And I'm Devs.
Stay tuned.
It's Codes of the Unknown.
Hello.
Hey,
Sorry, it messed up. There we go.
you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know why I'm at the bottom?
Because you're hatless. Hatless and selfish.
Yes, obviously, yeah.
So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Twins of the Unknown.
Twins of the Unknown.
So, good evening, everyone. Oh, I've got some echo.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
something going
You got your.
Nice.
I've got some echo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not me.
Shawn, have you got two devices on?
No. A fan?
No. Shouldn't be
Shawn,
the
have
fan.
you got two devices on?
No. A fan? All right. Does this help?
That's better.
Is it?
No.
Is that better?
Does this help?
No.
No. Is it?
No.
Is that better? Oh, no.
Well, that's spooky.
No.
Very.
It wasn't doing that a minute ago.
No.
No. I've just muted myself, Andy.
I did do.
No.
No. I've just muted myself, Andy.
I did do.
No.
Sure, it's not you. Have you got YouTube open?
I don't think so.
Sure, it's not you. Have you got YouTube?
It's like being in an alternative universe.
Oh, wait. Maybe it is. Hold up. How about now?
That's better.
Have we solved the problem?
See,
Yeah.
I'm already sabotaging you guys.
Still learning. It's all right.
All right, so yeah, I'm also on the YouTube live, so I can kind of see when people are asking questions. I don't know if you're okay with
Yeah.
it. Okay, is
Yeah,
that
that's fine,
allowed?
yeah.
Right. Evening, everyone. Too many to type, so I'm not bothering. I'm feeling lazy.
Yeah.
Before we go on, I'm just going to do a bit of advertising for those that don't know. So we're going to be starting a new YouTube channel. Well, we started a new We've started a new YouTube channel. That was hard work.
Just slightly.
It's called The Portal, and we're going to be talking about everything except religion and politics.
And the paranormal, really.
Well, maybe a little bit, but it's more, we're going to be poking fun at things.
Yes.
So
Moaning.
we're going to be having a laugh and moaning and just, in general, just taking everything very light-heartedly.
Yes.
The way it should be.
Yes, Joe, we can talk about dogs.
And Bob.
Dogs, not dog men, dogs, cats. What I'll do before the break, I'll play the intro video so you can see what it's about.
Yes.
I did have it on the other channel. The link is actually on YouTube to the other channel. So when you go on it and you've got the 4 icons in the top right-hand corner, if you click on the YouTube one, it'll take you to the other one. So please subscribe or you're going to miss out because we're dead funny. The end.
We can all have a laugh.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
And not at me for a change.
Well, I don't know.
Well, yeah. Wishful thinking, I think.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yes. Right. So, that being said, should we crack on?
Yes.
Crack away.
Right. So, questions from last time Shawn was on. And the first one is from Joe Weeks. Where in the world would Shawn, she wrote Shane, Joe. Where in the world would Shawn like to visit R.E. Wicca, regarding Wicca?
Where would I like to visit regarding Wicca?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you stumped me there, Joe. In regards to Wicca, I've been to England. I saw the
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge, thank you. That doesn't really. Say it again.
Did you go to Glastonbury?
Oh, probably. Is that? I went to Shakespeare's tomb. I saw that, and yeah. I honestly, I don't know. As far as a place to go, just communing with nature in general is, really the place that, I'm dying here. I'm sorry.
Ask another question.
No. I want to see him sweat.
I don't really have a specific place to go. But I did do a spiritual journey, and that was going to Lilydale in upstate New York, where I visited Raymond Buckland.
Yeah.
All right. So to answer your question, Joe, that's where I went for my spiritual journey. But you know what was really cool about it is that there was just so many like-minded people there, and that's what made it nice, and that's what made it a journey worth going to. It's an 8-hour drive. It's not down the street or anything like that. And then when I went up there to meet Buckland, I thought it would be better than it was, but I did get something really cool out of it. And I'd like to talk about that if you like.
Of course.
So we were, I brought my wife, and this is when we were first together. And we went up there, and we camped, and we just roughed it, and it was nice. And then there was Raymond Buckland, and he was a lot shorter than I thought.
Right.
He comes in and he's talking to everybody about whatever, and he's doing the divining rods, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching him, and he's putting these things down. I think they look like, I don't know, like metal or something like that. Like, I think they were supposed to be gold or something. And as he's putting it down, I could see this huge magnet on the bottom of it, and he puts it on the floor. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Really?
You gotta be kidding me. I came out here, but I came out here to see him. I
Yeah.
really didn't care about that. I liked his books and I liked what he did. But that's not my take home from it. What I took home from it was we did this exercise, and it was a telekinetic exercise where we would repeat row, row, row your boat.
Yeah.
I don't know if for sure if I said this on the last one or not, but or the last time we spoke. But anyhow, it was a stool. It was like this type of stools that boxers sit on. One of those kind of
Oh,
stools.
yeah.
And we were supposed to touch it and make it move, right? And there's like 20 people in this place. So there's 10 people behind me and this girl.
Yeah.
And then there's another 10 people on place next to me. And everybody's touching each other's back. And I don't know, this one guy, he had like the hottest hands. And my back was sweating. I couldn't believe, I don't know, he was pumping out energy or he was just like naturally hot. And we're touching this and we're going row, row, row your boat. And we're doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And what we're supposed to be doing is making the chair move. It should vibrate, and then we would be able to move it around just by touch.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is that it got kind of boring. So I started like mixing up the words a little bit just to kind of make it funny. And the girl, she was from Europe, and she was very nice, very sweet girl.
Yeah.
And then right before Buckland told us to stop, we just kind of laughed it off a little bit. And then she looked at me and she said, I kind of saw something there. I said, oh my God, you saw it too, right?
Yeah.
And what had happened is that the top of the stool actually started to, like the grains of the stool, the wood was moving like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was very similar to like, I guess it's, our projected energy that was going into that, or maybe it was the humor. I don't know. You can laugh. I don't know. But anyhow, it was starting to move a lot. And I really thought that was fascinating. And to this day, and anything similar to that would be something similar to like the Manhattan Project or the Montauk Project or anything like that, where they take electromagnetic fields and vibrate it to a point where it would and I guess they would somehow control it and then make it appear from different places.
Yeah.
Which they did with a ship.
Yeah.
And but I thought that was fascinating. I mean, if you think about what could be the benefits of something like that,
Yeah.
I mean, you could say you could do surgeries and it'd be unabrasive. You just open somebody, you just separate their atoms and then do what you need to do, and it'll just close up and you'll be, in and out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just so much that you can learn from something like that. And that's what I took away from that. Even though, Buckland, what's up with you, dude? What's up with the little magnet on the bottom? But nevertheless, I don't care. I did get something out of it, and it was a great experience. And I'd love to go back up there again. It's a great place. Again, it's all like-minded people, and now they started getting more into the ghost hunting thing and that sort of thing, which I think should go hand in hand. It really should.
Definitely.
If you're going to practice witchcraft or any kind of mysticism, you really should practice learning from the people who know, like the ghosts, or the spirits and that type of thing. So yeah, there you go.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Joe.
Cool. Right, next question.
All right.
Shawn, do you have... Oh, this is from Lorraine Groves.
I don't think she's in tonight.
No, I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
Shawn, do you have any particular deities that you work with? Deities?
Yeah, deities. And yes, I do. I'll leave it at that. Because I don't really... Yeah, you don't really want to share things like that, especially if people like, curse you or that type of thing. That's why a lot of practitioners use aliases,
Yes.
so that way somebody else can't, hunt you down and curse you.
Yeah.
And but you don't really want to share information like that. That was
No, I agree.
Oh, that's cool.
very big, and during war, back in early Europe, for example, the opposing army would pray to the gods that they're about to of the army that they're about to fight, and in hopes that if you let us win, we'll pray to you from now on, and that they would do things like that. So I guess there is some truth to it. I mean, they've been doing that for years. I don't know, maybe it's just superstition, but
Yeah.
either way, it's something you don't really want to share too much with people. I thought that sharing your altar would be like, so what? It's an altar, but a lot of people are very dead set against it. So
Yeah.
so just to avoid any more trouble in my life, I'll just pass on that.
Right. Next one.
All right.
From Nickname. Has Shawn captured any footage, if not most profound account?
Have I captured any footage of?
So have you captured any footage? If you've not, what's your most profound account?
Oh, right. I get that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I do have a picture.
You do?
But
Yes.
I mean, we can do this now, or we can do it later if you like. It's all up to Andy. He's the.
Yeah. Which one? The fishing one.
Okay, that was actually sent to me. That's not mine, but we can do. We can.
Well, we can do. Do I do one of the others first, and we can do that later on?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which one do you want to go with?
We'll do the fishing one.
You sure?
No.
One of them nights, is it?
Well, the question really, but I know you have it queued up, so that's why I'm like, yeah, let's do that one.
Yeah, it's all right. I've got all the pictures that you've sent me. I've got them on there, so I can pick any. They're all right in front of me. So you choose.
Okay, so I'll tell the story, and then I guess you can show the pictures.
Yeah.
How about that? All right. So one night, my wife was going. She's a nurse. She's working at night, and she was ready to. She was getting ready to leave, and she was standing in the bathroom, and she got poked. She got poked from behind. She actually felt something touch her, and she comes walking out, and she says, "Something just touched me." And I said, "Well, I told you the place is haunted," and I didn't think much of it. And I was sitting at my computer, and something had touched me. And so fortunately, I had my camera just at the ready, and I picked it up, and I just started taking random pictures of my house.
Yeah.
And so let's cue up the one with I think a cat and the couch, and then you see like a mirror in the background.
Yeah, this
one. That one, yes. So there's really nothing going on.
Yeah.
But my paranormal instinct investigator instinct was telling me maybe I should check out this mirror, because there is a lot of like lines going on in that mirror. And I couldn't, figure out why it would look like that. Maybe it's because I just cleaned it. Maybe, it still had some residue or something on there.
Yeah.
So I zoomed in on that mirror, and this is what we got. That's the next picture.
What's that? This one.
That one.
Wow.
And as you can see, there's like a face.
Yeah.
To the left. And if this was a clearer picture, this isn't the original, unfortunately. I don't know where the original is, but it was a lot clearer, and you could see like a whole mess of faces.
I can see loads of faces.
Oh, can you? Yeah, they're mainly on the right. There's like all sorts of like, and I don't think it's
that's weird.
I can see 4, I think.
I can see 5.
And if you look at the whole thing, it's the curtain. You know, it looks like it's coming from a curtain
Yeah.
Yeah,
in front of my door. So let's go to the
Wow.
next picture.
yeah. I would say go back to that one.
Right. Now the one with the door.
Oh, ah,
That's how
Right.
it looked. You see, it looked just like this, but for some reason, the ghosts were blending with the curtain and filling up the whole door. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Looks like yeah,
Yeah. Actually, it looks similar to that was a later picture of my door, but
yeah.
that curtain was actually picked up and moved on a coat rack that we had over there. But
Right.
but it's, you see how they blend in with things. It's just amazing how they do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's an actual picture of somebody who just tapped me in my house. So yeah, there I caught something. And another one that I caught was over in Satan's Trail, and
Yeah.
that one, what had happened was we were at this swing. Somebody had tied a swing up. It was like little
Right.
kids, and we went over there and we're looking at it, and this area was known for like this angry man to be there, the spirit of some very angry man, and he was in this particular lot. There's a lot of lots there, and there were a lot of homes there, but they took them all down, and now it's
Right.
all wooded, and it's a preserve, and
Right.
or a park. And I stood back and I was taking pictures of this swing, and as I was taking pictures, I noticed that there was like some darkness. Like half the picture was, you can see, like you can, one half you could see the swing, on the other
Yeah.
half it was black. Then I took another picture, it was completely black. And then I took another picture, it was completely black. And then the next picture had half black and half of the swing again, but going in a different direction. Then I took another picture and everything was fine. So what I didn't realize at the time, what was happening, is those series of pictures, I was actually taking pictures of somebody walking past me right in front
Oh,
of me,
right.
you know? And
Yeah.
that was like undeniable proof. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my camera. It was just, they just like walked right past me, and I just got this dark mass, and I couldn't see anything. There was nothing in front of me that I could,
Wow.
say, hey, get out of the way, you're blocking the shot.
Oh. Cheers.
So yeah, I mean,
So,
it's very hard to catch them. They're like
yeah.
shooting stars, I mean, they happen, and then the next thing you know, it's gone. As much as I would like to set up a sting,
Yeah.
and wait for them to happen, but it's impossible, because you never know. I did in Raynham Hall Museum out here in not the Raynham Hall out there, but it's named after the same place.
Right. Okay.
It's a museum out here, and I did capture like this little mass of a boy named, oh God, I forgot his name, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and you could see him like moving around and walking out of frame, and it was just like a little mess. It was like a piece of black thing on a string, just bouncing out of frame,
Ooh.
and that was completely by accident,
Yeah.
And that's usually how you capture pictures of them. It's totally by accident, it's a fluke, and that goes with the experiences. I mean, God, if I could only capture half the experiences that I had, then I could
Yeah.
have an amazing book. But it's pretty
Yeah.
difficult. What's that? Yeah, go around. So, okay, goodbye. Kids.
Sorted. That's right. Do you want to? Sorry, just going to say, do you want to go on to the next picture?
Yes, let's talk about that. Now,
So there's another one with someone sat on a sofa. Is that anything to do with what you was just talking about?
the next
Shall I,
picture.
Shall I flash it up and show you?
Yeah.
Let's be
Let's take
seeing.
a look. Oh, this one. Yeah. Okay. Well, this one. Yes. Thank you for showing me. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is.
Oh,
I
right.
never.
Some
Random.
random bloke sat in your house.
I had to talk to him. No, what happened was so somebody, I posted that picture that I showed you of the door, and somebody
Yeah.
sent me this picture saying that you could see a man, and you can, like, on the top left corner, you can see like the figure of somebody's face, and you can see a lot of, like, I don't know, ectoplasm or whatever that's floating around there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what had happened was, she said that, I need to be careful because this is her husband. And after a few days after this, he had passed away. And I was like, wow, that's pretty scary. But fortunately, knock on wood, we're all safe and healthy here.
Yeah.
So, but I do believe that there's some truth to this, where this hooded being is making rounds, around the world, or unless there's a bunch of them, I don't know.
Yeah.
That and you see them captured a lot on, let's say, YouTube or whatever. And I mean, granted, yes, it could be faked, but
Yeah.
but the probability of some of the people that do it aren't doing it for views. They actually just kind of bumped into something,
Yeah.
and I've noticed that a lot. And I think that, possibility this guy could have been that, or I don't know. It's a lot of questions come up when it comes to the hooded people, the hooded
Yeah.
figures that just show up,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is
So
creepy.
yeah, and I'm so sorry to the family that the lady
Yeah.
who sent this. I mean, he doesn't look very well right there, though.
Yeah. It
So,
does actually look like it's coming out of his mouth.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
there's
does.
a lot of.
I'm not saying it is. It might just be the perspective of it, like the timing of the photograph. But it just seems a lot more dense just below his chin.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
wrong button. Very strange.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Is he holding a pack of
she said that
carrots?
she had the same experience where somebody had touched him, and I don't know if she had the same experience, but somebody had touched him, and he complained about it, and then this happened. Then she took a picture.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
very
he
odd.
touched death. I hope not.
No.
But that happened a long time ago, and I'm still kicking. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Touch wood.
I guess he passed on me. It's like, wait, I have too many. We'll let him slide.
Do the last question. We'll do the last question from the first interview we did,
Okay.
and then we can move on to these ones. Is that all right?
Yeah.
So this is from Lorraine Groves again. Do you believe your Wiccan beliefs help you with paranormal experiences?
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of things, experiences that you don't normally have if you're not in tune with what is around you. Ideally, if you're in a calm state and you open up, you can see a lot more. And I think you experience a lot more. You experience presence. And I've seen things that are just like, you've got to be kidding me. I can't even explain it. And I can't say it's ideally just Wicca. I mean, but if you practice as, let's say, a medium, you could definitely share the same experiences. But the religious aspect kind of helps a little bit in opening up more. So in that respect, I would say yes, definitely, most definitely. I think if you're going to be very good at what you're doing, although maybe a lot of people won't be able to see what you're seeing. But here's another thing. Back at that Raynham Hall, there were, people would come up to me because I used to do talks there, and people would come up to me and tell me their ghost story of something that had happened there. And one time this guy said he was working on the front walk, and he was putting in a new walk. And there's two guys there. And one of the guys had looked up, and he sees somebody looking down, and he's dressed in, the whole 1700s garb. So he confronted them, and he said, "Hey, listen, I noticed that you had one of the guys there all dressed up, and he was watching us." And the other guy that was with him didn't see it. Nobody saw it but him. And that's what I think is really fascinating, because of the fact that only he was the one that saw him. So was that a direct connection from that spirit to that man? And he's not practicing anything. He's just working on, building a sidewalk. He didn't do anything, but I thought about that too. That's very similar to like when they talk to you and you can hear it inside your head as opposed to in your ear, so there is so that's, that's pretty fascinating overall. It's just, can you really connect with them unconsciously? And I think that's probably what happens the most, is that's the time, just like the fluke when you're taking a picture and then all of a sudden there's something there, there's something in the shot. It's just a fluke. But if you're looking for them, and this is where Wicca would be helpful, is when you're actually out there looking for it, then I believe that you're going to see, or even as a medium, you're going to see or have more experiences than an average person that goes out there and doesn't know what to expect.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
That was all the questions.
That was all the ones from last time.
Yeah.
There's a load more this time, but do you want to talk about the fishing picture, or do you want to leave that till later?
We can talk about the fishing picture. Sure.
Good. I'm glad you said that. I'm so excited for this one. Right. So if you want to start, and then I'll put the picture up.
All right. So somebody had sent me, knowing that I'm a paranormal investigator, and they sent me a picture and showed me a pic. Oh, we kind of talked about this already. So I already did the setup. And so there were these kids. They were shark fishing at night over at Mastic Beach, and Flight 800 had crashed. It was a flight to, I think, France, and it just like exploded. The thing just exploded, and there's so much talk about, well, it was the military practicing and they ended up hitting it or something. I don't know. It's just a bunch of nonsense, if you ask me. But what happened is that the flight was going towards France, leaving JFK, and it just fell apart, and a lot of people had died. And they have a huge monument there, and it's very nice. And anyhow, that's where these guys were shark fishing at night.
Yeah.
And as they were, they caught a shark. They caught like a small shark. I don't know what it was, and they're holding the picture of the shark. They're holding the shark up, and they took a picture of it, as you can see there.
Yeah.
And the mother of one of these kids confirmed that nobody knows who that little girl on the right is. And you see the little girl on the right?
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And if you look at the people, the living, if you will, you can see there's a lot of color in them. And then, but you got this girl that's very, very, very dark. And there's
I was
no
just
reason
going to
for her.
say, sorry, I was just going to say, you can see the flash bouncing off them three,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like it just misses her.
Yeah.
There is a like just below her waist, it's either a shorts or where trousers and top meet. There's like a little white dash thing,
Yeah.
but
I don't know. I see what you're saying, but I don't know what that could be. I mean, look at the color of her. She's so.
It's just dark
and there's no shadow. There's nothing, and she's just looking up at them.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a dead person. You know, or the ghosts. You know, they always have that like far away stare.
Yeah.
Like they're watching something else. You know.
Yeah.
And. Yeah, and you know, I mean, the ocean has so much kinetic energy, and then plus you had 200 people, tragically die.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that plane went down was just horrifying. It actually, what had happened is something blew up under the wing.
Yeah.
And the plane just went out of control, went straight up. And the cockpit ripped off and fell, and they were already like 1,000 feet up, and more. And that thing just went straight up like a rocket. And then all these people were still alive, taking in the frigid air and dealing with all this drama. And then they come down and finally land in the ocean. I mean, it makes me sick thinking about something like that, and are there people who are there ghosts there? Yeah, if it wasn't haunted, then I would be surprised. Their lives were tragically cut short.
Yeah.
So, and that little girl. Oh, so anyhow, somebody had. I know. I had to do the dramatic build up for this thing. All right. Anyway, so one of the ladies there had seen the picture, and she was so upset by this that she took it to a psychic, and the psychic looked at the little girl, and a name came from her. And when they checked, when the other investigators had looked at it, they went through the roster and found the name of that little girl, and she had been on there.
Yeah.
No, that's what nickname just asked. You beat me to it.
Yeah. So her and her sister, who were about the same age, and there were other children too, but it was the mother and the two children, and they all went down. And
awful.
And the father, that's why I don't really want to name names or anything. I'm sure the father's going through so much right now. I mean, my God, to lose your family like that.
Yeah.
It's got to be tragic. It is tragic. It's not kind of, or got to be. It is.
It is, yeah.
So, I just thought that was a fascinating picture, and I'm really glad they were. I was going to do more of an investigation on it, but getting hold of the mother of one of the guys that was there, and I think he went to jail or something. I don't know, but there's always something, little hiccups on the road there. So I just let it go. I let it ride. But it's not an investigation that I really want. Once I found out that the father, there's no ideal evidence that it could be his daughter, and I don't want to bring that up. And just
it's a difficult one.
Yeah, I mean, leave him be. That's some crazy ghost hunter going over there. And I found your daughter.
Yeah, making it all awkward.
Why? Instead of the beach. Yeah. Wait for. Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
I don't want to give people hope like that.
No.
I have 2 kids, I would just lose my mind,
Yeah.
There's a lot of like there's over by me there's a place called the Hanging Tree, and the Hanging Tree is a well-known place from the lore. I don't know if I said this already, but the lore is that there's a witch who was tried and hung from this particular tree.
Right.
And in reality, there wasn't. That actually came up like years later, as just a bunch of kids made up some stupid lore. And anyhow, but there was a man who lived across the street, and he was down on the block. He was high. He was on drugs. He was middle-aged, and he just felt that he was going nowhere in life, and he crossed the street and he went into the woods and he hung himself. And that was the OG, the original ghost that had resided there.
Right.
And then later, there's a young boy who went there, and a lot of kids would go there. It overlooks a river, and there's like a little area for them to start little bonfires and that kind of thing.
Right.
And they would hide in there and drink and such. So this one kid, he went in there with his friends, and they were all doing drugs. And apparently he OD'd, and he was only 14 years old, which blows my mind. But how could you? Well, he snuck out of the house. That's what happened.
Yeah.
And so his friends saw him OD, and instead of bringing him to the hospital, they put him back in his bed. And so I met with the mother, and I asked her, do you have dreams about it? Are there any dreams that you may have that reminds you of him? And she says, I have dreams of him suffocating. And I said, really? No, drowning. Drowning. And I said, wow, that's very weird. And my wife's a nurse, and I said, what did he die of? And unfortunately, I don't know the name of all this, so I'm going to just tell you in layman's terms.
Yeah.
He died of something where his lungs filled up with fluid, when he was having this overdose attack or whatever. He
aspirated.
Yes, and he filled up with his lungs filled up with fluid, and he died that way. But it's kind of messed up that they left him. They brought him home and just threw his covers on. He'll be all right, and just left it at that. And it was tragic. And so I went there with a woman who claimed that she was sensitive. So we went over there, and she looked a lot like his mother, almost like.
Right.
And I was doing the flashlight thing, where you take the flashlight and you kind of adjust it like so, and then you let them play with it, and it turns on and off. And so I put it in a tree, like let's say way over here, and we were standing over here, and she was standing in the middle. And I said to the kid, if you are here, can you turn on that light over there?
Yeah.
And right behind this woman, I see this kid, full-bodied app, run across and then disappeared, like full body apparition, and then fade out. Like it was just like a glimpse. And run over there, and then boom, he turned it on. And that area is where the guy who hung himself, I asked his friend to go over there and talk to him, because his friend, he knew him when they were young.
Right.
Yeah. I'm jumping around here. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you're all right.
Let me know if I'm losing you. But prior to that moment with the kid, I had went there before with another guy, and he was I asked him, can you talk to this guy and see if he will, appear for us, And he offered him a cigarette and all this and that. I couldn't see him, but in the middle of nothing, you can hear blah, 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 like this, like gibberish, just talking. And I was just like, you hear that, right? And he says, yeah. I said, he's talking to you. Say something to him. And the guy was, I don't know, he really was strong in that sense. You can seriously hear him. And that's why I put the flashlight over in that area.
Yeah.
And so that kid and that man are still there. I went there with the mother and recorded a session with them, and the man that hung himself said, tell everything, tell the story. It's okay. You're not gonna, because he was afraid that he was gonna get into trouble. The kid that OD. I mean, don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. Get retribution for the guys that did this to you.
Yeah.
And that's why I love EVPs. EVPs are totally worth it. If you're going to master anything, do the EVPs, because they really are worth it. The story behind the story is right there. I mean, you can't get them to go up and hang out with you or anything, but you can definitely record their voices and get, the insight of what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And,
I was just going to say, I've never got anything on EVP.
Really?
Nothing. Other than Benchman, but we still don't know what that was. So
no. The jury's out on that one.
Yeah, I've used an audio recorder. I've used a second mobile phone, so I've done digital and audio. Nothing. Never got anything.
Well, I get it usually. Well, before I used to use a recorder, but it's a big hassle.
Yeah.
So what I use now is just the video.
Yeah.
And then I take the video and I don't just play it back. Sometimes I can hear it. Sometimes you'll hear something.
Yeah.
But I run it through an audio editing program, and I personally like WavePad, and basically you got to play with it. You got to slow it down. You have to work with the pitch, just so you can hear it. And you'll be surprised, because there's a lot of, it's all frequencies. So you'll hit like high frequencies, then you'd have to bring it down so you can understand what they're saying, or slow it down. And then you'll have very low frequencies. Then with those, you have to speed up and then bring up the pitch so you can understand what they're saying. But it's there, and it's weird, because it's very similar to like being in a like a huge room with a lot of people talking all at one time.
Yeah.
So it's very odd if you can, or it's more of a treat if somebody actually talks to you, as opposed to talking to whoever else is around them. Because I think at this point, they pretty much know that we can't see them. So they're just like, why even bother? I'm not even going to bother. He can't see us. He's got a big nose. Start goofing on us and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you play it back for him. Hey, you! I heard what you said. But I did have that in the backyard. I told you that story, though. That was pretty funny. But yeah, EVPs are amazing. I mean, you can really hear a lot. I think if you're going to do ghost hunting, that's the route to go, because physically you're not going to. Chances are, 10 out of 9 times you're not going to see anything. Yeah. You may see something move. You may see a glimpse of something, but ultimately, the EVPs, no matter where you go, you can go to your backyard, you can go to your kitchen, you can go, in the middle of the woods. Let's talk about the woods too after this, and and you will find something. You'll definitely find something. So, if you ever need, you send me some audio and I'll dig it up for you.
That would be great, because can I just jump in on something now then?
Yeah.
So our next investigation is going to be it's a witching hour, so we're going to be going at 11:30 at night till about 3:30 in the morning. Now I put a poll up on YouTube for 3 places near where I live of where we're going to go. The first one was Halston Firs, which was at Pine Forest.
Yeah.
Well, it rained on us twice, and
Yeah.
it's crap signal.
Is that
Second
the
one,
place you were just recently?
yeah.
Oh,
So that was where all the ants' nests and massive bites on my leg. I had one on my face there. Looked like I'd been shot. Like, I felt like I'd been shot as well. And then the other one, it's called Pitsford Water. There's 2 lakes, and there's a wild man sighting around that area. So, and the third one was Kingsford Cemetery.
Oh yes.
Guess which one? Guess which one come up?
Kingsthorpe.
80%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna set camp down. I call it a FEMA camp. It's all like big concrete tombs that are like above the ground. So there's a lot of them that are empty. So we're gonna set up camp there, and then just go out either side, then come back, do some filming, use night vision, and just use everything. Use the dowsing rods, use the pendulum. I'm just going to try all different things. So we got a good 4 hours on that one. Hopefully, I'll come back home and be able to show everyone if we got it.
You know, try a mirror. Bring like a decent sized mirror, not like a big mirror, but just something that you can put in your backpack or have somebody carry.
I've got a mirror. It's about
into the mirror.
It's about half the size.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a little bit smaller than A4. So it's easy enough to carry about.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good size mirror, and you can bounce light off of that, because for some reason I've noticed that light, I don't know why, but that light, maybe it's very whitish or whatever it is, has a tendency of illuminating spirits a little bit better. Right. So shoot in, like bang a flash off of that and take pictures into the mirror, or do like something like some sort of seance. What was that thing I sent you? What was it called? Do you remember? It's like Bloody Mary, but it's not.
Oh,
it's not Bloody Mary. It's something. Anyhow, if you do something like that, you just run video into the camera. I mean, into the mirror, and see what may or may not happen around you. So that might be interesting too.
We've actually got an upload of Benchman. So I'll show you what we've seen. So up until I got my new phone, I was using the Galaxy S21 Ultra. The 2 torches that I've had from day one, and the same setup, same everything, but I was just using my phone's camera, and that was it. So this is a screenshot from the computer monitor. Now, when we was filming this, nobody could see him in the actual video, even though this is part of the video, but no one's seen this bit of the video. I'll put it up in a second. No one heard the audio, but I had a GoPro on a body harness, so that was constantly recording. So that picked up the audio. Now the guy was Dutch. He was in his early to mid 20s, I reckon. I'd say between 22 and 27.
Yeah.
Really pale complexion. He had a cap on, a hoodie, and tracksuit bottoms, and a pair of trainer sneakers, whatever you want to call them. And he was sat. So you'll see how he sat, but his right arm's on his right leg, and he's looking at me. So imagine that's his phone in his hand, but he's looking like that. If the phone was to light his face up, it'll be that side, the side I couldn't see, and not that side.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put the picture up now. So the tree That tree is a beech. Is it a beech tree or a
I
silver
can't
one?
remember what we said it was.
I think it's a beech tree.
Yeah, might be.
So his face is glowing red. There is another picture, but I must have taken it off here by mistake.
You can see the stripe on his tracksuit bottom. So if you follow, obviously the
Yeah.
bench and then his feet and his
You can
tracksuit.
see the reflective strips on his feet as well. That
Oh,
bit
yeah,
between the red face and the bench, that's his hand. So he had his phone in his right hand and he's looking at me on his left side. I was trying to look on his phone to see what he was doing, but it was like an old style cell phone. It was like it had like a green backlight on it. It wasn't light or blue like they are now. Didn't smell of alcohol. Couldn't smell any weed. And he had a really strong Dutch accent, but he spoke good English.
Yeah.
Now there's me and another guy out there, and when I explained to him what he was doing, and he's like, "All right, yeah, no worries." And I felt really comfortable just stood there chatting to him. He could have had a gun or a knife or anything, right?
Yeah.
I started walking away, and it was about a minute after talking to him, it's like reality kicked in at what had actually happened. But I felt so relaxed talking to him. It was just so strange. So then I went down to meet the other guy that we was filming with, and so the guy on the bench, I said, "Have you seen me mate? He's got the same sort of equipment, dressed similar to me." But he went, "Oh yeah, he's just walked down there." I went, "All right, cheers, thanks a lot." And I said, "Sorry if I blinded you with a torch, because it looked like the other guy by the way he was dressed." So I walked down, met him. He's like, "No, there's no one on the bench." We checked his video, rewound it back. As he walks past the bench, there's nobody sat there.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we heard, as soon as we stopped recording, we heard the weirdest scream you could ever imagine coming from behind where the chapel is. It sounded like it was female vocals, but it didn't sound human. Put it that way. And I was not hanging about.
Wow. See, now that's cool. That's the kind of, like, if you want to see a ghost, that's the kind of ghost you want to see, like those full, like, people.
I was
like
chatting.
Yeah. You could.
Like
Yeah.
this.
By the way, do you know
I
his dad?
can't. But I just can't. It won't. It doesn't register fully, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I came across a guy at that Satan's Trail, and he was telling me about, he used to live there and all this stuff, and I'm like, there's no houses here. So, I just asked him. I said, are you a ghost? As he's telling the story, which I know is crazy, but. And I said, and I tried to touch him, and the guy like bugged out, and he's he's like, "Hey, get away from me!" And then he just totally ran away. I don't think he ever came back, but it was really very innocent. I wasn't trying to like tackle the guy or anything, but he just like got scared and ran away. So I don't think he was a ghost. Just gonna assume he wasn't.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, when I was talking to him, it's like when you hear about vampires with a glimmering, they make you, supposedly, I don't know, they make you feel relaxed and warm, like you feel the warmth and all that. You don't have any fear in you. Now, I would not stop and talk to someone in pitch black in the middle of a cemetery.
Dude, that's crazy.
I'd never do that. I wouldn't do it in daylight, let alone in total darkness.
Yeah.
But so when we came back, there's 3 exits from the cemetery. He would have had to pass us, or we would have seen him cross in front of us to get to either of them exits.
And he didn't.
Unless he stayed in there.
Back to his grave. That's what he did.
Adding to that as well, when I watched the video back, to me, he sounded to be in his 60s.
That was it. He sounded really old.
I could tell that he had a Dutch accent, but he sounded really old. Which I couldn't.
But he didn't look old.
No.
He looked
like 20s. But
I'd say mid-20s. He looked around. My eldest lad is 27. So yeah, he probably looked about his age.
Yeah.
Wow.
Going back a couple of years, so about 25 to 27. But it was like his skin was, so the white on the screen that's going around, where all the writing and everything, he was that colour, he was that pale.
Yeah. Very strange.
Wow.
But he didn't show, he wasn't nervous, he didn't
How,
show any fear or nothing. He didn't seem anxious and nothing like that.
No.
wow.
Mind blown.
Totally in control. And he just
I
walks
think
up to a stranger like,
he
hey, what are
was-
you doing?
Well, like I said, he was sat on the bench, and I thought it was this other guy. I went, oh, sorry, I thought you was blah, blah, blah. I go, sorry if you're blind. You're like, oh, it's cool. I'm not doing the Dutch accent. I'm not making a totally do it myself.
That's one of the
So,
hardest accents to do.
And I had a chat with him for about a minute?
Hmm.
Must have been, yeah.
Easily. But no one else could hear him. And he was only 5. You can see how close he was.
Yeah, it was really close.
6,
Wow.
7 foot at the most.
Wow.
And when the other people are that far away, you can hear them. And I was using the same microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because I remember when I was doing real estate, I went to take a picture of this courtyard, and
Yeah.
I hear like this electronic voice say, hey, what are you doing? You know, like
Yeah.
there's nothing around me. It's just right, like maybe a foot away from me, you know? So my point really isn't, just the ghost story, but it's the fact that they're very curious, like you were doing something and you just wanted to find out what you were up to. That's all. It's got to be like really boring.
Well, that's the thing. But with his mobile phone as well, it was a predated phone. It wasn't one of these new smartphones.
Right.
It was touchscreen, but it wasn't.
Didn't you say the phone screen was green?
Yeah, a green backlight. Where the new ones now are more like you have the blue easy eye care sort of thing to stop you straining your eyes when it's like getting. It has all that. Obviously, all the new ones have that on it, but this wasn't. This was like. So I'm going back to say the Sony Ericsson.
Yeah.
Nokia slide phone.
No,
so you've still got a touch screen, but you've got the buttons at the bottom as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. And
Yeah.
it's not. It reminds. Are you sure there wasn't like somebody riding a bike and got hit like in Sixth Sense, and you just happened to like, and he just popped up next to you?
The thing is, we've been back.
People.
We've been back, and we've been back to that area, and we've reenacted it. And different people have sat on the bench. I've done it. Ali's done it. Richard's done it.
Yeah.
And we pick up on the EMF meter. We've used different ones. And it's just a really strange feeling. And it's right in front of the war graves.
Yeah.
Oh.
From First and Second World War.
Yeah, but I don't think he was from then. I mean, he's got a cell phone.
No, there were.
Yeah, there was a couple of Dutch gravestones, weren't there?
Yeah. Because there's a lot of like pilots and servicemen and what have you there. It's like I said, we've got them on the video. It's the last. If you want to watch it, scroll back to the one where there's me, Deborah, and Ryan.
Yeah.
And it's the St. John the Baptist ruins and Kingsthorpe Cemetery. It was probably around July, August last year.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, around about then, yeah.
July.
When?
Around about June, July. I'll tell you what.
That's a thing too. I think summer brings a lot of them out.
Yeah.
The weather really does make a difference.
Yeah.
It's like, it's getting hot down there.
Yeah. Right. So we're going to go on a break.
Yeah.
Is that all right? What I'm going to do Oh, sorry, I got to get rid of this cough.
Uh,
I'm gonna play the intro. So,
There we go. We'll just wait while Andy chokes. We'll be
Alright.
fine.
so I'm going to play the intro for the new channel that we're going to be doing. So for everyone that missed, I made this last weekend, so you better like it because I ain't making another one.
No.
I'm going to play this first, then we'll do the normal break. So you've got about 5.5 minutes in total.
Yes.
okay.
So we'll see you all then,
See you
and we'll do
shortly.
the questions. See you in a sec.
Cool.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And we're back.
Here we are.
Back. Sorry, I forgot to read us.
That's
Darn.
fine.
Is that a cough? Sending me loop here.
It is.
It's going around. It's going around.
It's just
Well,
We got it out here. My kid had it for a long time, for like a month.
Oh.
It's like, oh.
yeah.
It's like day 2.
Huh?
It's day 2 for me. I don't want another 28 of them.
No, you don't.
Well, just think of your stomach muscles that
Yeah.
nice and tight from all
They're
that
tightening
cough.
with every cough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect remedy.
Buttercup syrup.
I love it.
Might as well just drink sugar water and I've done with it.
It's not that bad. It's quite nice.
Yeah,
And
it's the
it contains
taste. It's all
alcohol.
right. Doesn't do anything.
It still tastes nice.
Right, we've got some more questions then.
Yes, we have. So
Good.
let me get them up. We've got 4.
Ooh.
Woohoo. Right. So first one is from Blue Shift, and he asks, have you been physically touched by any of these spirits or any poltergeist activity?
Yes. A little earlier on, we were talking about where a spirit had actually poked me.
Yeah.
And then I got up and I took some random shots of the house. And then from the mirror, that's what I saw the ghosts in the door, the doorway. And yeah, I've been touched. I've been one thing that they like to do is they always walk up behind you for some reason. I don't know why, but they really like just kind of, you can hear them like creeping up behind you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they'll just like touch you, or like they'll lean against you, and you can feel it. It feels like, how do you describe that? It's like, it's not natural. You can feel like this, like I wanted to say energy being manipulated, if you will, but that sounds too corny.
It's like, it's like it goes into you. It doesn't just touch your skin. It feels like it goes through the skin.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I get from it. I've had it a few times.
It's a very, it's a very peculiar feeling, and I'm at a loss for words today. I don't know why. I'm just so off, and I apologize in advance.
It's fine.
But
we do every week, so don't worry.
Oh, okay. Then I don't feel so bad. And at the house that I grew up in, before I knew what scratches were and that kind of thing, I had that all the time. I had lots of, mostly on the side, on the side of my ribs. There would be horrific scratches, and I thought that they were just like from the bushes or something, but nope, wasn't. It was the ghosts.
Right, next question's from Nickname. And it's, does Shawn think he has an ability, naturally or learned, to attract these experiences or presences?
Very good question. Learned. Everybody has the ability, but you can learn it too.
Yeah.
The Wiccan warrior will teach you that.
Oh, yes.
I got it. We'll get back to that.
Yeah. You have to stick with Wiccan warrior. It doesn't matter how many other people have got it.
Yeah.
They're just pretends. You're like
you've got to do
the genuine one.
Okay.
The original, the OG.
I know it was 20 years before I got into it, but sure.
Regardless, don't worry about that. Okay. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I'm sticking with it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll just add something to it, like the Wiccan warrior.
Just add your photograph at the end.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all you've got to do.
Exactly.
Easy as that. Yeah, nickname said just put a number after it. Numero uno.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, we can worry numero uno.
And I'll fight you if you think any different.
Yeah, this guy's a cop.
Yeah.
The real Rick and
Yeah.
Morty. I can't even say
Yeah.
it.
But, yeah.
So yeah, experiences and okay, yeah, I think that ability wasn't natural. It was actually something that you have to develop. And
Yeah.
again, you can do it. I think everybody can do it. Some people will be really good at it, some people not so much.
Yeah.
And and never have this attitude like impress me. Let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I followed everything you said, but it didn't work. Well, it's
Yeah.
because you don't believe that it's going to work. And that's
Exactly,
pretty true with anything in this world. If you
Yeah.
want to be a millionaire, you got to believe you're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm still waiting.
What I hear from millionaires, I don't know.
No, but it is. It's to do with intent, isn't it? And the amount of time that you put into practicing as well.
Yeah.
You've got to dedicate yourself.
Yeah. What is it? The 10,000 hours that people they claim that you do the 10,000 hours and then you'll be a master at it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things over 10,000 hours. I'm not a master at it. I guess it's about 100,000 for me.
Every day is a school day.
There you go.
Definitely. Right. Next
right.
one.
Yeah.
From Twitch Curtains. Do you think some people act as conduits?
I suppose so. I personally, when it comes to me, I can only share, like, my disclaimer is I only can talk about my experiences. I can't tell you what other people go through. And if they're conduits, I suppose they are. If they can make things happen or show me or something like that, then then I'll be impressed.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I really just don't know. I've seen things many years ago, but I can't say for sure. But I would assume so.
Yeah.
For the most part, I would assume so.
Yeah,
Thank you, Twitchy. Good question.
Next one from Kazawitch. Has your experience heightened since you accepted the Wiccan path?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. When you accept, again, if you want it and you accept it, it's definitely going to heighten. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you really got to put time into it. I was meditating like 5-6 times a day. I would take salt baths. I mean, I just was like, but I didn't have a family then. I had a lot of time on my hands. So, now that I have a family, I can't do half of that stuff. I mean, God forbid something goes wrong. We burned I burned a black candle once, and like the house was on fire. I mean, it wasn't on fire, but my boiler was kicking up all this smoke in the house, and I said, you know what? I'm never going to do that again. It's safe. And so yeah, but does it heighten? Yeah, and if that's the path that you chose, Kazwitch, by all means, embrace it and go for it. Really do what you need to do, because it will get better. It'll definitely get better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
That's
next
all right.
question from Joey.
Joe.
Has Shawn tried the Gansfield experiment to see what visions he gets? The Gansfield experiment is a sensory deprivation test. Also, Andy should try this too and see what happens.
Right. This is from Umbra Man.
So, right, yeah.
Right. It wasn't coming up, so we sent it to Joe. Sorry, I didn't bother calling you that.
Okay. All right. And thank you for explaining to me what this experiment is, because I do have my phone ready. I know what you're talking about, and I haven't, and I actually was going to do a YouTube video on it, and I never got around to doing it. So no, I haven't. Basically, you play white noise, and you're blindfolded, and
Earplugs.
yeah, and you have um, somebody's asking questions around you, and then you're kind of like the ghost box, if you will,
Yeah.
and
Ah.
you receive whatever messages from that. Yeah, something to try. On
Yeah,
Yeah.
can
your,
I just say something?
so
I actually listen to white noise at night to help me go to sleep.
yep, me too.
So I might have to
So much in common. It's the hat, the glasses, white
the
noise.
shirt,
Jesus, there's a
the
Shawn.
accent, everything.
It's mad.
I can't believe. Sorry, this was not planned. That we was going to wear
No,
the same hat and the
no.
same colour T-shirt. Like last week, we both wore a blue hoodie, and we
Now,
can't. And
in all
it was not
fairness, he
planned.
wasn't wearing the hat. I actually asked him to do that. So.
Yeah, it was like on a hook
Yeah.
behind me around there. So no.
Mad.
I have hair, just.
Only just.
Well, it looks better on you than me, I guess.
Well, you can borrow it anytime, not a problem. I can send it over.
Just sign it. I knew you win. I got the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was not. It's just, I think that synchronicity, because twice, the two
Alright.
times you've been on, we've wore.
Yeah.
I don't know from the waist down, we won't go there, but from the waist up has been pretty much identical.
Yeah.
That's creepy, strange, but funny.
Very, very funny. Very
It is.
strange.
It's hilarious.
Deb's just like laughing at our bromance here.
Yeah. We're getting a bit uncomfortable. Get a room.
Oh boy.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So no more questions? Nobody?
Yeah.
Not one?
Oh yeah. I've got one more from Blue Shift,
Oh,
and it is:
blue
do
shift.
you believe in hexes and curses? If so, what's the best way to get one removed?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do.
That's bad practice.
Yeah, so yeah, well, I'll tell you what happened. So on it was on eBay, and somebody was selling a brick, and I thought that it would be cool to like start a collection of cursed items like they did
Right.
on that show, because I thought it would be a good idea. No, it's not. It's not a good idea at all. They sent me a cursed brick from a guy who was very similar to the story of Freddy Krueger. He was killing the kids in the neighborhood, and then this I suppose it happened in the early 1800s, something to that effect. And he went into his house, and then the whole group of everybody, the villagers or whoever, they all like set his house on fire and burned him alive in there. So the story goes. And so I said, but they wanted to sell it, and I said, well, let's buy that. That's kind of cool. It's got a good backstory to it.
Yeah.
And they were going on about once you get this, you're going to have problems with your computer, or your electrical stuff is going to start, fouling up on you. You're going to have bad luck, all these things. And I didn't even have it in my hand. I just bought it, and they and all these things started happening. I started getting viruses. I started having horrific luck, and I said, you know what? Enough's enough. Forget this thing. I'm not even going to accept it. They wanted X amount of money to ship it over. It was like $2. It was free, but I had to pay for the shipping, which was like $30 or something. I said, no, you keep your brick.
Yeah.
And I talked to a guy who was a voodoo priest, and he was he said, yeah, you have a curse. And then I said, well, how can I lift this curse? And he says, well, you give me like $200 and I'll lift it for you.
Oh,
I said,
great.
all right, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. This side of never.
I said, let me figure this out. And I just started doing my own thing, and it went away. But, oddly enough, I was talking to a lady one time who was having a lot of problems with her. She was practicing as a medium, and her husband had died. She wasn't very clear as to how he died. I think he died of like a drug overdose or something to that effect.
Right.
And he was an older guy. I mean, he was probably late 60s or so.
Yeah.
And she and her daughter was and I would, like her daughter would call me and apologize about her mom because she says, oh, I know my mom's a kook. And I was like, no, some of the things that she says, it totally makes sense to me, the experiences that she was having and whatnot. But she was saying that her husband is haunting her all the time. And, the way that she would explain the story.
Oh, we've lost him.
Oh, he's gone.
There's a cut off. He's cut
They
off.
will need to connect there before you can add them to the stream.
He might have internet
Did he
issues.
not plug himself in?
Clearly not.
That's what happens when you have this live.
When your doppelganger's hanging round.
Yeah, the universe doesn't like it.
Yeah, you've messed with this space-time continuum is what you've done.
Yeah. Oh, well. Well, we must try these things to see how it all works.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back soon. Either that or somebody's gone through.
Yeah, we'll put it on anyway. So I'm just thinking, Joe put about.
Oh, he's back.
That's right.
Oh, he's not. Right. He's not got a camera.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me? No, of course.
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Really?
Yeah. Unless you're wearing a pink camera with a red stripe through it.
Pink? It's blue.
Pink?
That's blue, Andy.
Are you colourblind?
No. It's purpley blue.
Well, look at the three icons at the bottom. They're blue.
Yeah.
Where the names are.
Yeah.
That's pink.
Purpley blue.
Oh, sorry. Should we go violet or
violet? I don't know. Well, let me.
Did you?
I did nothing.
Did you unplug your camera?
Look for the light.
I just did. I unplugged it and put it back.
Oh. Strange. Anyway, we'll have to carry on without being able to see you now. At least we can hear you.
Shall I change my name? I can just pretend, and I'll move my mouth as he talks. Can't hear him now.
He's sorting his issues.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you.
I can hear you now, but still can't see you.
Oh, jeez.
Right, Lorraine's made a comment saying, I burn black candles on the dark moon with no problems, have had, but then I'm not Wiccan.
I don't think it really matters if you're Wiccan or not. No. Some people claim that burning a black candle takes away negative energy. So, it all depends. For me, it just seemed like a bad thing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what fits different people, I think.
Yeah. That's probably it.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed, though, that I can't.
Yeah, no. We did have this.
This happened first time when we were setting up, didn't it?
Every time. Yeah. Let me.
So didn't you leave and then come back and it was all okay?
Yeah. You know what I did? I went on to your link and I just re-signed. I signed in again.
Right. Do you want to try that?
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Okay. Right, Deborah.
Hello.
You've started a war now. Purple, violet, lilac, fuchsia.
Fuchsia purple. I like nicknames. Yeah, fuchsia purple.
Well, no, you can't go from blue to fuchsia purple, Deborah.
I said purpley blue, didn't I? There we are. Yay, we're back.
There we go.
Now we can't hear him.
Oh my gosh.
No, we
Oh,
can't.
we can.
I'm
It's
just
all
having-
good. We're just arguing over colours now. English.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I didn't see what you saw, Deb. I'm sorry. I have to go with Andy on this one. Yeah, no, you're right. It was kind of a
Sure.
pinkish.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're wearing the same clothes.
Oh, look at Jealous Pants down at the bottom.
Yeah, whatever.
It's all right.
Right, next question. From Nickname.
Yes.
What is Sean's assumption on Skinwalker Ranch and what latches onto people from there?
Skinwalker Ranch. Apparently, a lot of stuff goes on there. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I'd love to go there. I'm afraid to death of skinwalkers or, wendigos or anything like that. Anything bigger than me.
Yeah.
But I love UFOs and that kind of thing. Yeah. And extraterrestrials and that kind of thing. I think that's I find very fascinating. Does anything latch onto people there? I don't know. I really don't know. Have there been stories that people like walk away from there and they're being stalked by a skinwalker? The history of skinwalkers is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Have you done a thing on skinwalkers?
We've done bits. I'm more fascinated with Stardust Ranch.
Stardust Ranch.
Yeah. That's the one in Rainbow Valley, just outside Phoenix.
Oh, really? And I guess there's a lot of UFOs there.
There's a lot of everything there. From
Really?
the very beginning, I think it was early to mid-90s when the couple moved in. I was actually speaking to the guy's wife from where it all started. I'm friends with her on Facebook, and I was chatting to her a few weeks back, and I can't remember the surname. Nickname will tell you. She's my she's got the names of everyone, and she'll send them to me, and because I always forget. But yeah, there was aliens turning up. There's like men in black turning up that were just walking through these raw iron gates. You had some dogs and horses. He opened it up as like a rescue centre for these wild horses.
Oh yeah.
And they had some dogs. I think there's Rottweilers or something. And they heard some noise one night. They gone out to the barn the next day, and they were flat like a pancake. One of them was completely flat, like there was no bones in it. It's just enough, just
fillet.
like a sheet of cardboard.
Wow.
And I can't remember the guy's name.
No, I can't either.
It's bugging me because I know it. And Ghost Adventurers, they've done a couple of episodes there.
Yeah.
Is that
Did they
Baggins?
catch anything? Do you know?
As far as I know, they did, yeah. But it's just there's so much going on there. Apparently, they had a meeting with these different aliens from different planets throughout the solar system, and then they said about how did they get here, and these cloud come over with all this lightning and like an electrical storm, and then they looked up and there's just hundreds of lights in the sky from all these different ships, because that's how we get here.
Yeah.
And that's how we're getting back. There's a lot more to it than that, but yeah, that's Stardust Ranch, and it's just there's a book on it. You definitely need to get the book. That's it. John and Joyce Edmonds. I'm sure she's called Mary. I think Mary's the daughter. I'm not 100%. Yeah, he actually. One of the stories was these greys would turn up, but they'd always be in your peripheral vision. So if you didn't look directly at them, they'd see them like coming through this, like through dimensions or whatever, or like turning off the cloaking. And he said he'd have different like baseball bats, and he had this sword and like different weapons. It was never more than 5-6 foot away from a weapon anywhere in the house. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's three of them. He's in the summer room. He crept round the back. He just swung with his sword and took one of the heads off. Now, there's a couple of stories about this. He said that he put the decapitated head and the body in the freezer out in the garage, and then apparently it vanished. But I listened to an interview with him from like early 2000s, and he said that the alien body and the head do still exist, but they've been moved to a secret location.
Right.
And he said all this black just splattered all up the walls, and they'd been in and investigated that this blood was non-human, non-animal, and not from this planet. And that was all they could tell. You couldn't say it was alien because they didn't know.
No.
There's a lot more to it than that, but that's, you got the gist of it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't. What, man? Move. You know.
Would you want to move though?
Yeah, anywhere, man. Anywhere but that place.
Trailer.
I mean, I think it's fascinating, but you know, I really don't want to see something like that. You know, I mean, I'm cool with ghosts. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want like men from outer space coming over, you know, looking like monsters knocking on my door, you know, and come off every day, you know.
I'll just tell you a quick short story. When they first moved in, there's some guy dressed in all like rags and like camouflage t-shirt and shorts, carrying a machete, and he's walking up. So he walks off the road, walks up. He goes,
"Fine, right there."
Hello. He goes, "Can I help you?" He goes, "Yeah, I live here." I went, "I don't think you do. This is my land." He goes, No, I live here. All my stuff's in the garage out the back. They don't been there like a day or two at the most. And he goes, "Well, no, I've just bought this, and no one mentioned anyone about some guy living out in the sheds and the barns." I went, "You're gonna have to," I goes, "I'll let you go and get your stuff, but you're gonna have to clear off." He goes, "You're gonna regret it." He goes, "Well, what am I gonna regret?" He went, "I'm the monster slayer."
Oh God.
And then all this stuff started happening. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he just got his stuff and he walked off, and he was never seen again.
Creepy.
So
he's gone slaying monsters elsewhere, then obviously.
It's like, come on.
Well,
I got this homeless dude living in my garage. He's saying he's the monster slayer. Dude, right. No wonder it was so cheap.
Yeah.
Well, I think they paid. He was like, even when he was trying to get the broadband and Wi-Fi fitted, he kept contacting the network providers, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going to send someone out." And this went on for months. Look, we're waiting and waiting and waiting. He goes, "Yeah, we'll send someone out." Someone actually turned up, and when he turned up, I can't remember the proper story, but it was like, we didn't actually think he was being serious that someone was living here, and nobody really wants to come and fit the broadband on this property because of all the stuff that goes down here.
Scary.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a book, and it's.
I
don't know if they still. I think, is it Bob Bigelow who owns Skinwalker? I think I heard that he put in a bid to buy it, but they wouldn't sell.
Bigelow.
Yeah, Bob Bigelow.
Yeah, heard the stories. They said,
I don't know how true it is, but these are on different podcasts and YouTube channels and what have you. So it's just, apparently he put a bid in, which is a ridiculous amount of money, but he goes, "No, not selling." I don't know if it's true. Not got a clue. I just tell you what I heard.
Used intergalactic station home comes with a pool.
Yeah, well, they had meetings with. There's like 4 or 5 different extraterrestrials from different parts of the galaxy, and they're like this intergalactic space agency that are protecting other planets from
Like a federation.
from
MIT.
the reptilian type beings.
Yeah. See, I don't know. What's your take on that? On the reptilian people?
I believe
believe
they exist.
Yeah.
I believe that a lot of them are in power, and
Yeah.
a lot of famous people are. But I don't. Now, this is a bit that I can't get my head round. Are they born reptilian, or can they have some sort of something that makes them change to reptilians? Because there's a lot. I think a lot of these people were human, and
Like
now they're not.
stolen
I know it
identity.
sounds absolutely ridiculously stupid, but doesn't everything?
Yeah.
But
I
I
don't
think there's something that changes the DNA, or they have some sort of not. They go into some sort of pod or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I think in some cases there could be walk-ins that take over like a human host.
Well, like a host.
But in other cases, I think it's inbred.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my theory
big
anyway.
drink at the bar.
So you don't think it's like genetic manipulation? So they can do something to your DNA construction or
Yeah.
your cells and that turn you from human to reptilian?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about that.
No, I had glad I have now because I won't sleep now. I'll be up all night thinking about it.
Yeah, I will as well. Thanks for that.
Let me go to sleep. You can tell me what you think tomorrow.
I'll ring you at 3 in the morning.
No, you're all right. Oh, sorry. So what's your take, Sean?
On the reptilians?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't deny that there is something outside of the human race that exists around here on Earth.
Yeah.
But I've seen those videos where there's these glitches and people's eyes look like and all that. So I don't know. Is there something to it? Maybe. I don't really follow it. I like to think that there isn't, because I'd hate to run into one of those guys one day and I'd be like, here's a fly. Take that, go away.
Yeah.
Whatever you people eat.
Yeah, but it's like back in the 80s. Do you ever? I'm guessing you did. Ever watch V?
I know the show, but I've never watched it because it had the reptilians in there. I didn't have any interest in it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either, actually. I remember
I
it being
loved it. Every Saturday night, me and my mate would go over to his house. His mum would be working, but he was only about 12, 13. It's literally over the road from my mum, so she'd keep her eye on us. And we'd just me and him sat in the house watching V. Loved it.
No.
Something wrong with it.
No more questions.
It's a good show. Kept you busy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. Yeah. Anyway, enough said on that. Next.
All right. Well, let me finish what I was talking about before I was really disconnected.
Yeah.
So anyhow, when I was going in back and forth with this lady, and she was saying that her husband, who passed on, was haunting her. So I get off the phone with her, and when you have an umbrella over your head, and you can kind of in your peripheral vision, you can kind of see it, and its presence is there, and that type of thing. So it kind of felt like that after I hung up the phone. I kind of felt something like that, and then this overwhelming depression just hit me all at once. And I have never in my life experienced something like that. Like I wanted to kill myself, and there is nothing in the world that would make me want to kill myself.
No.
And the way to get away from that is run. And it happened to me twice, and both times when I was connecting with her. So, I forgot how all this came up. I think it had something to do with the question, but that's the end of my story. I don't talk to her anymore. I never. I was supposed to go out there and help cleanse her house and that kind of thing. But it was very far away, and I just never did it.
Do you think you were picking up something from her or something from something else?
I think it was him. I think it was from her, definitely. I think it was something that, she's experiencing, and because I was connecting with her, because that kind of thing never happened to me.
No.
So
Yeah.
it was definitely something that was coming, from her side of this issue. So I was kind of relieved that I didn't have to deal with her anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I that's not the first time that kind of thing had happened to me, where I had spoken to somebody and somebody else was attached to him. I remember, like, on part one, when I told you the story where I was talking to that lady, and I saw, like, this man in a hospital gown or laying in a bed, and he was kind of waving his arms around, and I felt like he was trying to possess me.
Yeah.
That one. So I think that people can have disgruntled spirits connecting to them until they can find somebody who's a little bit more open, that they can hopefully possess or commune or connect with in some way or another.
Yeah, possess him instead.
Take over. Take his body.
Take him.
I'm busy.
To fly to the reptilians and take him over.
Yeah. Go and watch V. Go and watch some reruns of V.
I need to see if I can find that.
Hey?
I said I need to see if I can find V, because
Stuart's just put it was re-shown on
Forces TV.
Forces TV.
I think we can only get that upstairs, actually, for some strange reason.
Oh.
Anyway.
Do they not do it at ground level?
No, obviously not. Maybe it's airborne.
You never know. Sorry.
There he goes again, he says.
Oh, God.
Joke while we talk.
So glad I've got a mute button on the mic. It's so much quicker than trying to find it on the screen. Oh. Right.
V.
Yeah. Right. What was the other story you wanted to talk about, Shawn?
I'm sorry?
What was the other story that you wanted to talk about? We mentioned it at the beginning. I've forgotten what it was.
We did Go-Go Beach. Oh, Go-Go Beach. We didn't do Go-Go Beach.
That one.
Go-Go Beach. So I had a friend who was doing a paranormal investigation, and he said, I'm going to go to Go-Go Beach and do an investigation there. And so what Go-Go Beach is that there was a prostitute who ended up missing. And because she was missing, it led into an investigation where they found 17 bodies, right? 17 bodies. Not, bones, remains of people. So my friend said that he was going to go over there and check it out. So he did. He didn't get much from it. He got like a voice or something, and that was the end of it. So I went there, and it's kind of a desolate road, but it's right next to the beach. Like, there's the sand dune over here, and then on the other side is more of a inlet, and it has water and whatever. And so that's a great place to dump somebody if you want to dump a body, because it'll decompose quicker there.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it became like a hot spot for whoever it was that was dumping, or how many people were dumping bodies in there. Wow. And a lot of the people that were victims were people from Craigslist. And you have Craigslist now. You don't.
Yeah.
Well, you might.
Do it?
You do, right? Yeah, you have Craigslist. Yeah. And so they were, when they were doing the, hookup thing,
Yeah.
And that's why they stopped it. That's one of the reasons why. And so a lot of these women were prostitutes from Craigslist, and so I do an EVP session there, and I'm asking questions, and I'm asking, did you, were you murdered here? Who are you? Whatever, and I just asked all sorts of questions about, can you tell me the story of what happened to you? And of course, I'm not hearing anything, but at one point I did. I heard somebody go, "Hey," like that. And it was really like literally 10 feet away from me. And it didn't make sense to me at the time. So when I got home and I started listening to my audio, and then I started breaking it up where I can hear it, where I can, really understand what's going on. There was a girl who was talking to me. First, there was a guy, and then there was a girl. And before this, I didn't know about anybody other than like one woman who was found, who was ended up missing, that caused this whole thing. So I started listening to this, my EVPs, and I heard this woman was saying, well, first it was this guy. He said, "Wow, what an odd car." And I haven't, at the time it was a 2012 Honda Odyssey. And I guess if you're back in the 90s, that wouldn't make any sense to you, because it's a different, model. It looks, futuristic, if you will, to somebody in the 90s.
Yeah.
And so this guy made a comment on the car. And then this woman was talking, and she was saying, "Oh, I bet he doesn't like to party. Oh, look at this, look at that." And she was just constant talking like an idiot, just constantly, nonstop. And so anyhow, I think the guy coaxed her to tell her story. So he did, or she did, and she was telling me that what had happened was that there was I was at home, and she knew one of the guys. She didn't know the other guy, and they killed me there. Then they put me in the trunk of their car, which was like a Trans Am or a Corvette or something, not Corvette, but a Trans Am or something, a car like that.
Yeah.
And we drove, and then they drove me to here and dumped my body there. And then, but the other thing is that the guy, he was very vocal, and he was saying a lot of things. I'm sorry that I'm very vague on all this, because it was like over 20 years ago.
Right.
Well, not 20, but about 15 or 16 years ago. And anyhow, so I did my research, and I found that there was a guy there. There was the body of a man there. Apparently, he was a cross-dresser or something. He was dressed up as a woman, and he was Asian, and he dressed up like a woman. And I guess whatever went wrong. And I'm not really sure that there is just one person that's the killer there, or I don't think it's a serial killer. I think it's just a good place to dump bodies, because it's very desolate, and because of the water, you can definitely, decompose quicker.
Yeah.
So, with that said, I went back again because I was really like, wow, I got a lot of information here. I mean, this woman confessed her, how she got killed.
Yeah.
And then I went back, and then I didn't get her. I got somebody else. And then I heard other people that were talking. They were talking to like what sounded like a kid. Like they were praising the child. Like, "It's okay, sweetie, not now. You will talk to him. Okay, sweetie," that kind of thing. And I didn't know that there was a kid there. And then later, much later, they posted that there was also a child there. So one of the women who was prostituting, the killer killed her and the kid. So,
Oh.
and I think this would make a great reality show, especially if you're going to do ghost hunting,
Yeah.
Do that,
Yeah.
and give it some purpose, other than, screaming at shadows, and that kind of thing, give it some real like backbone, I don't know. That's They did have a show called Paranormal Cops, and I really thought that was what they were going to do. I thought they were going to do something like that. But no, it's just a bunch of cops doing what everybody else was doing. So it sucked, and they're not around anymore. But I think if I had the means to do a reality show that would be, network based, I would definitely, go that route. That and animals. And animals. I'm sorry, Deb?
Did you never know? When Wiccan Warrior takes off, that could be it. Sky's the limit.
The world is my oyster.
Lobster.
You're shooting balls of fire out of my hand.
You're not Spider-Man.
Making people, commit to my will.
Yeah. Right. We have got another couple of questions.
Right.
Well, have you got one or two? One.
Two. Joe's just asked one.
Right. We'll have to be quick because we're hitting the 2-hour mark, and I'm at 5. God, I can't wait.
It's exciting, isn't it? Right. So this question is from Warren. Does Shawn follow any sort of diet or program to try and enhance his pineal gland?
I don't, but but there is when I did practice it more often. Yes, fasting is definitely something that I did. Fasting and I think nutrition and yoga or weights or whatever, cardio, is definitely something that should be part of the mix if you're going to heighten your senses and use your pineal gland. So fasting and even I'm going to say bondage, and it is bondage, but it's not like, the leather guys with the zippers on their face. Just something to restrain your body, like your shoes, just kind of like hold your body in place so that your mind that your focus is more on your mind than on your body. And so that, definitely, coupled with nutrition or lack of, and some sort of physical activity, definitely you can strengthen a lot. You'll be able to you'll see the world in a much brighter light. It's crazy. It's very, very, very effective. So that's a good question. I'm glad that I was able to answer that.
Yeah.
I wasn't
And there's the last one from Joe. Where do you think the soul goes after the body dies?
Well, some people will be very disappointed in what I think, but I don't feel that there's a place like I think I answered this last time. I don't feel that there's a place like heaven or anything like that. I think it's all here on earth. I don't think you go far. You're right there. My interactions with my mother. I actually have a video of my dad. I was at his grave. He's in California and I'm out in New York. And I was at his grave, and I didn't go through the audio because I knew I wouldn't see him for like another 10 years or so. But you can see like something coming out of the ground, like a little white thing. Maybe one day I'll be able to send it to you and you can post it.
That'd be great.
But when I spoke to my mom, I had this whole experience where I felt that it was very real, and I felt that she was with me, and it was kind of like a goodbye. And then I went to her grave and I recorded. I did an audio session there, and she said, "No, I was here all the time. I've been here all the time." And another disappointing thing is like, why don't you come home? Why don't you, come to the house? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
And she says it's not as easy as you think. It's not easy for us to get out. I don't know if it's the body that's confining them, or I don't know. Just like with those people over at Gilgo Beach, their remains have been removed, but their spirit still stays there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's confining them to that particular, spot. It's very crazy.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
And it's fascinating too. I just wish.
Yeah, it is.
I wish people with larger minds than myself, would go over there and try to like hash this out if they haven't already. I don't know, but
well, we may find out, won't we?
Yeah, one day, and it could be of greater use. Like they use that Teflon for your pots and pans, right? And originally it was designed for airplanes, So you do this and you may open up another door. So come on, scientists, let's get to work.
Yeah.
Come on, professors, use your PhD on something.
Chop chop.
Chop it up. Before I die, I want to know how this works. So,
sorry, I'm trying to walk off. Right. I'm trying to not choke to death is what I'm trying to not do.
Can you do it quietly?
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Oh, no. It seems to have eased a bit now. So
it's probably that half a pint of butter.
Lie down. Nice. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I was in bed. I'll just tell you quickly. I was in bed the other night. I could hear a noise. So I'm listening. Right, weren't Becky. Listening outside, went outside. Listening like for downstairs and that, nothing. Lay back down. It's my chest wheezing, wasn't it? I've been breathing. It's going.
You scared yourself.
Doing its own thing. What the hell is going on?
I wouldn't have admitted to that, Andy.
Well, why not? It's happened to us all. I just admit to everything, so don't matter. Yeah. Why not? Right. So, thank you so much again for coming on.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry. I wish I could have been a little more livelier today, but I'm just a little bit under the weather.
No.
Sorry about that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. As always, it's a lot of fun. I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh, no. Anytime. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
As you said, you can be our US connection.
Yes. I will be your, yes.
I'm in America.
Yeah, absolutely. And your new show is going to be very funny and interesting, and it's kind of like this. Just we talk about anything, right?
Yeah. Well, that's just it. There's a lot of stuff that we kind of go sidetrack off to, but then we come back because we know we can't talk about on here.
Yeah.
So this is why I've done this other one, because it's like it opens us up for everything else. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's a great idea. I'm sure it'll be very successful.
I've got great expectations for this. It's probably going to be
crap
or something. I don't know. But I'm hoping people are going to find it funny.
Yeah,
it might be fun.
So
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, you'll have to come on that one as well and
just chat shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Rubbish.
Yeah. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So our first one's going
start off like drinks. Everybody has a drink.
Yeah. Just gin and tonic on 11 o'clock on a morning. Go on,
what's wrong with that? And if you're driving, don't spill it.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world.
Yeah, but we're doing our first one on the 18th.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to do it on my own.
Unless we do it early, but I'm not here, no. Away.
It's going to be about 9:30, 10 o'clock UK time. So that'd be 5 a.m. for you.
5 a.m.?
In the morning.
Yeah.
That'd be a hell of a conversation.
Sat there in your pajamas.
This is what you'll see throughout the whole thing.
That's fine. It'll be fine.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. I'll think of
Disagree with
something.
anything.
I've got a week and 2 days, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So, right. But I am going to have to go because I've got to edit. Well, not edit it, but I've got to upload everything and sort it out. And
Thanks to Joe for moderating.
yes, thank you, Joe, for moderating. Thank
Joe,
you, everyone in the
for your
chat.
Joe, I have tickets to see the new, what is it? Top Gun 2.
Oh, yeah, we're going to.
In one of those theaters where you like feel everything and stuff. So
The 3D.
it's 4D, I believe.
Yeah, it's is it IMAX?
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. Yeah, it's gonna have like the chairs move and stuff.
Yeah, in the wind and water and all that.
Best way to see it.
That's it.
Yeah, definitely.
As usual, it's been great. Thank you so much, and
You're welcome.
I'm glad that you've allowed me into your codes.
A little circle.
Or your circle.
Circle of Doom.
There you go. And I'm looking forward to your graveyard.
I've sent it you. I've WhatsApp it to you. I've sent you the link.
Okay.
So, yeah, but it is good from the very beginning. That's the one with the little rabbit.
Okay.
So we start off in one place and then we move to the other, and it's just stuff going on all night.
Yeah,
cool.
It's good.
It is very good.
Very cool.
Probably the best one yet, I think.
Yeah.
The investigations.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
Hey, do more of those. That would be a lot of fun.
I know.
Send me any kind of like audio that if you want me to look it over, I can try to find it for you.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
And that's it.
So, on that note, we're going to go. So, I'll see you guys. Oh, who's on Friday, Deb?
I know who's on Friday. It's Lon Strickler.
Who's on next Friday?
And on the Friday afterwards, it's Jodie Cook.
No, it's not. So, Gray.
Now, well, right, I'm going to blame Jo for that one then. She said Jodie Cook.
No, so we've got Lon, Earl Grey, then Jodie Cook.
Jo.
No, you sacked.
You are. I'm having words with you, lady.
Replacements may farm are delicate.
Right, we're off.
All right then. So thanks. I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care. And I can't find the outro. There it is.
Over
See
and
you guys
out.
later. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.